Welcome to the Degenerate Dillon podcast, where Dillon has you covered with everything from spreads to futures to prop bets. Follow him every weekday as we pick daily best bets using stats, analytics, and a little bit of luck. Now here's your host, Degenerate Dillon himself, Dillon Nelson.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back into the Degenerate Dillon Show, the Degenerate Dillon podcast. If you're listening to us anywhere you get a podcast, if you're watching us on YouTube or Facebook, if you wouldn't mind subscribing or liking whatever platform you are listening on, that'd be great. We had a good 2-for-3 night last night in our picks. Oklahoma State covered the 11.5 by beating Iowa State 74-58. Cade Cunningham looked exactly like Cade Cunningham last night. Did his thing, had 21 points leading the way for them, shooting 4 from 6 from deep. Just too much talent there for Iowa State to handle. It was difficult for them to keep up on the scoring side of the ball, and Oklahoma State actually surprisingly played some pretty good defense in that game. Arkansas covered the 4.5 and beats Florida 75-64. Justin Smith shows why he is so important to this Razorback team. When they didn't have him, they started the SEC play 2-4. They got him back, and they've won 7 SEC games in a row. So that speaks volume to the type of player that Justin Smith is on this Arkansas team and how important and how valuable he is to this team. He is the MVP of this team so far this season. You could argue Moses Moody, but seeing this team without Justin Smith and seeing this team with Justin Smith shows you everything you need to know about the most valuable player on this Razorback team. They are headed straight for March and are just get on that train right now if you can, because they are looking real good right here as we approach March very soon. St. John beats Xavier 83-74. We had Xavier covering that line. They were undefeated as an away team and an away dogs. So we had Xavier in that game, but St. John's pulled off the win in that game for Mike Anderson's 400th win as a head coach. Congratulations, Coach. We are all happy for you here in Arkansas. We wish you nothing but the best, and we always have. So congratulations on your 400th win by beating Xavier 83-74. St. John's also on that train like the Razorbacks that is rolling, tumbling towards March with momentum. They look like a really good team up and down the court, like a Mike Anderson basketball team should look. So watch out for St. John's in the tournament. They could be dangerous come March. Cruising to our games today, Syracuse visits Louisville in an ACC game that will have ACC and NCAA tournament implications. Louisville's currency in a 9-seed region, 9-8 seed, depending on who you look at. Lunardi has them as a 9-seed. Syracuse is in that next 4 out category. I don't think they're too far away. I think they could be that first 4 out, first 4 in with a win tonight, if not closer to that first 4 in section. Maybe an at-large 12, 11, 10 seed for Syracuse if they can pick up some wins. Syracuse cannot lose this game. That's very important to them tonight. They cannot lose any more games or else they will not go to March. Louisville has a little wiggle room to lose this game. Now, they don't want to lose this game. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that Syracuse kind of has that do it now or die mentality right now because it's getting late into the season. I mean, we're approaching the last week of February into the first week of March, and conference tournaments are coming up soon. This ACC conference tournament could matter so much to a couple teams, and including Syracuse and Louisville. So I like watching this game tonight. Louisville right now is taking 86% of the money as of this morning. That could change throughout the day, obviously, but it seems like the public likes Louisville plus the 4.5 here. I think the play is Q's plus the 4. I know the Cardinals will probably win this game, but I think the play is Q's plus the 4 points. The underdogs, the Orange are 1-4 this season as underdogs, so it's not great. It's not great, but they are due for that road win, that underdog win, and I think that could be tonight. And then that's ATS, by the way. This is not just record overall. That's against the spread. I think they're due for a win tonight against the spread, and I think Louisville's a good team to get it against. So let's play Q's +4 tonight. That'll be one of our picks. Let's move on to our second pick of the night. USC Trojans welcome in Arizona State to Pasadena. The line currently for this game is 10.5 in the Trojans' favor. The Trojans are first in the Pac-12. They have played great this year. It's nice to see USC play really good basketball again. Most of my family lives in Southern California, so they're really happy about USC being good at basketball again. So it's nice to see USC, back in the action back in March. I liked them when they had OJ Mayo. I thought that was a really good team, and I feel like this team might be even better than that team. I think the play tonight is definitely to USC to cover. I think Arizona State it's just not great. I mean, their record shows that they're 3-13 ATS though. 3-13 against the spread. That's terrible. That's awful. That's got to be one of the nation's worst. USC is 12-7 against the spread. Great record. They've won their last 6 games, and they've covered their last 5. This just all the numbers adds up towards playing Arizona State and the 10.5 right now. I think that's a consensus pick. I don't think you need to travel with the money in this one. I think the money's following Arizona State more than it's following USC. But I think as tip-off comes, I think that'll change. I think most of the money will go in favor of USC. If not, this line move up to 11.5. I could see that definitely happening. But I would take USC in the points early this morning if you can get it at 10.5 in USC's favor. Third game of the night tonight is an NBA game in the form of Denver visiting a shaky but won their last 2 games Washington Wizards team. If you've listened to the show, you know I am not a fan of the Washington Wizards. I think they're the worst team in the NBA. And it's not for lack of talent. They have Bradley Beal. They have Russell Westbrook. I don't necessarily know what's going on with it. And maybe this 2-game win streak is them kind of finding a little bit of a groove. I don't think they can work this into any kind of magic to, look at postseason play. But listen, Denver is favored by 3 in this game. It is in Washington. I think a lot of the money is going towards Washington to cover the 3.5 with the 2-game streak they're on. Denver has won 3 of their last 4. They lost last night to the Celtics in a game that Nikola Jokic scored 43 points in. I think a lot of the plays with Denver have been on Nikola Jokic prop bets, and that is probably another play tonight on his total points, assists, and rebounds. He has covered those frequently. So I would keep betting it until he doesn't, especially with Gary Harris out. Michael Porter Jr. not being Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray kind of dealing with a nagging injury a little bit. He looks better. He looked better last night, but he's still kind of dealing with that injury. He's not 100%, you can tell. But I would still play Jokic prop bets, and I think the play tonight in this game, if you're talking spread, is still Denver Nuggets to cover the 3.5. I don't think Washington is ready to have a streak where they go on a winning streak. I just don't think they're good enough to do that. Take Denver to stop their 2-game streak and win tonight and cover the 3.5. Other games we will get into. Those are my games I'll get into full explanations about. But other games I like tonight. I like what was it? VCU the line has moved all the way down to 1.5 against Richmond tonight. I like VCU to cover that 1.5 at home. That's another game I was looking at. Kentucky facing Vanderbilt tonight in the SEC. I like the line is moved from 4.5 down to 3.5. I like the Kentucky play here. I think Kentucky has too much talent for Vanderbilt. Scottie Pippen Jr. has been playing really good this year. He's averaging 20 points a game. That's really good in college basketball to average 20-plus points a game. It's really good. But I think Kentucky has been playing better of late as a team. I think they have too much talent for this Vanderbilt team. Vanderbilt's been playing better too, but Kentucky, I'll take the talent to cover the 3.5 there. I think that was it. I don't think I had any other NBA games for tonight. Hawks at Celtics. Celtics have been playing really good. I think I like the Celtics in that game. The line is 3 in Boston's favor. I would take the Celtics in that play against the Hawks. The Hawks are 11-16. After starting the year pretty good, they've kind of fallen off a little bit in the last 10 games or so. So I like Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown in this game. They just beat Denver last night. They're just a really good basketball team. So I would take the 3 points against the Hawks tonight if you can get that line. Let's look at the other games. Ooh, good Jazz and Clippers game tonight. Wow, the Jazz have been extraordinarily good this year. They're in first place. They're the hottest team in the NBA, and they play the LA Clampers tonight. Utah is 5-point favorites. I still think the Clippers are the play at +5 in this game against the Jazz, even though the Jazz have been lighting it up. Donovan Mitchell is a problem. We saw that last year in the playoffs against Jamal Murray when they went off back-to-back against each other. But Donovan Mitchell is definitely having the season so far this year. If you're talking about those two, I think the play is LA to cover the 5 at the Jazz. Let's look at the ATS records for these teams. The Clippers are 3-1 as an underdog against the spread and 7-7 as the home team. The Utah Jazz are 19-7 as favorites. So that tells you that most, if not all their games, they've been the favorite. That's going to be again tonight. Utah has covered 8 out of their last 10 games. LA has only covered 6 of their last 10. I still think LA is the play here at +5, especially at the Staples Center in LA. If everybody's healthy for the Clippers, take the Clippers to cover the 5 points in LA this evening. But that'll be it tonight. That'll be it for me. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. I always like to keep it short and sweet for y'all so y'all can move on with your day and get your business taken care of. But if you listen to this, I really appreciate y'all for hanging out. If you're watching this on YouTube, please hit the subscribe, the like button. If you're watching this on Facebook, please go like the page. Give us a share. I really appreciate y'all, man. You guys are what making this show keep going on. But thank you very much. Y'all have a great Wednesday, and we'll talk at you tomorrow. Thanks.